We are live on Instagram. Hey guys. Okay, there we are. We are live on all the places. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. If you happen to be new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Tiffany Bethia, and I am a digital brand strategist for women of faith who are coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers. I am also the founder of Unmuted Marketing Agency, which is a digital agency focused on helping nonprofits and ministries explode their brands online. So, I'm super excited today, guys, as we're talking about brand chat. First of all, to the ladies in the place, happy Women's History Month. I am super duper excited when I think about all of the powerful women who have come before me, ones that I know, ones that I don't know, and even the fact that I stand on the shoulders of so many powerful women that have allowed me to even be in the space I'm in. So I'm excited about Women's History Month, and I honor and salute all of you incredible women. So I want to dive right into this thing, guys, because you guys know this is just like a quick little lunchtime chat, and I'm going to get in and get out, okay? But if you are a woman of faith who is a coach, a consultant, and author or a speaker, this conversation is for you, okay? So, a little bit about me. I have been a digital brand strategist for 17 years. I am also a minister of the gospel, and it is really my passion to help kingdom leaders and influencers and entrepreneurs really invade the marketplace with a certain level of excellence. I think about, one of the things that scripture tells us about Daniel was that his excellence was really what made open doors for favor of him and got attention. And I think that as I look at what's happening with entrepreneurs, especially those of you who are men and women of faith, um, we often lean heavily on the anointing and the gifting and what God has given us. But it's really important that we understand we have to show up excellent in the marketplace as well. And so that's the heart behind why I come here on Wednesdays. I'm here on Wednesdays at 1 just to really pour in and to give you some nuggets because I like to say it this way, okay? God will give you the vision and he'll give you the idea, but you're going to have to market it yourself. I know. Like, man, he will give you the vision. He'll tell you the idea. He'll give you the book to write. He'll give you the program. He'll do all of that. But you're going to have to be the one to have to learn how to do marketing, copy. You're going to have to learn social media content. You're going to have to learn ads. You're going to have to learn all of the things to bring to life the vision he gave you. Some of you know that you're called to kingdom wealth. Some of you know that you want to create generational wealth with your business, with your book, and all of these great things. But guess what? There is a very tactical, natural side. And so that is why I'm here on Wednesdays, just giving you these nuggets and giving you these tips. I should have moved this a little bit so I can see the comments on Instagram. But hey, guys, what's up? So today, I want to talk specifically about capturing their attention. And the reason for this conversation is before you can sell to them, you have to capture their attention. Now, one of the things I want to start being a lot more vocal about, and I think I've talked about this, but I want to talk even more about it, is since 2012. So 2012, I started working for myself. I started being a self-employed marketing consultant, and at that time I was primarily doing like done for you services. um I can think of done for you services and all of those things. And then in 2016 I actually stepped into coaching, right? And so I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying to look at these comments and stay focused, right? So in 2021 I actually stepped away from the business to take a full sabbatical, to take a full pause, to rest and to regroup. And then at the very beginning of this year, I started making plans to transition back into full time entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, in the 2 weeks that I have been full time self employed again, in the 2 weeks that I have been full time self employed, I have made almost $10,000. Now, I'm talking to people on the phone and coaching people who haven't made $10,000 in the past month or 3 months or 6 months. And this is why I do what I do. Oh, I love it. Man, I got to move this so I can see the comments. I'm going to figure this out. Stacy, thank you, Stacy. Okay, yes, we're going to keep going. Instagram, Mrs. Ghetto. I should have moved this so I can see. I can see the comments, but not all the way. But we're going to make it happen. So, why am I sharing this with you? Because part of what I have been promoting, you've seen me talking about the income incubator and saying that, listen, it's Women's History Month, and I want to help some women in business make history. The statistics around what our income in business is just depressing. Right. And I'm on the phone every day talking to women in business who have incredible courses, have incredible programs and services, and they cannot figure out how to get the sales to be consistent. They're like a little trickle, but it's not consistent. And I'm saying, well, sheesh, I just came back in the game and made just under 10K in less than. It really isn't like a whole full. It's been like a week and some change, right? And I want to help you do the same thing. But the conversation today is to get you to understand that before you can sell, you have to actually get their attention. So I'm going to give you 3 specific ways that you can do that. Okay, I'm reading the comments, but yeah. All right. So here is the first thing that I want you guys to know. You ready? Here we go. I want you to go to where they are. The first thing when you say, and if you're watching me on Instagram, I was typing in my lower thirds. You got to come over to YouTube or Facebook to see the lower thirds. But the first thing I want to talk about is go to where they are. This is probably, I'm not going to say this is going to seem basic because it may or may not. But here's the thing. When we talk about the online landscape, all of these different places and platforms are not created equal. So, what I see a lot of people do is just kind of do what everybody does. They just pop up a Facebook, they just pop up an IG, they pop up all this stuff. And when I sit down with them to really understand strategy of like, well, why are you on this platform? Or what do you there? It's kind of just like, I mean, because, I'm just on here. And so one of the first things I want you to understand that if you're going to capture their attention, if you are going to get them to put their eyes on you so you can even sell to them, then you have to go to where they are, right? So I'm going to give you 4 mini bullet points, right, to consider. Number 1, what's their age? If you're looking to sell to a younger audience, you might want to be on a TikTok. However, if you are looking to sell to a professional audience, a B2B, for example, business to business, you're looking to sell companies or organizations, or you're looking for CEOs or decision makers, you need to be on LinkedIn. And I'll say this. Now, this is my opinion. You know what I mean? While it is great to absolutely have what we call almost omnipresence online and be in multiple places, if you are someone who is just really getting started of building an audience, you don't even have 1,000 people on an email list, or you're just getting started building an audience, right? I'm going to tell you to dominate one platform first. I don't want to see you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, but everything's sporadic and inconsistent. I would rather see you go to one platform and kill it and grow a major audience there of people who are interested in what you're talking about, who are engaged with you and are ready to build deeper and say, I think that I'm interested in what this person has, right? And so from previous iterations of my business, I'll be transparent and say that I do have Facebook. I am literally live on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. However, for this side of my business, right, for this side of my brand, my focus platforms are really Facebook and LinkedIn. Now, I do have some content on Instagram. It's not a focus platform for me. Facebook and LinkedIn are where my sales primarily come from. So while it's easy, like this is a moment where I can be present in more than one place. When it comes to my strategy and where I am focused, I am consistently showing up on Facebook and LinkedIn. There may be times where if I can't show up on Instagram quite the way I need to for this side of the business, I'm like, it's okay because that's not my focus platform. So, what am I saying? If you happen to be in multiple places already, cool. Use wisdom, repurpose content, for example, or I'm live in multiple places right now. But when it comes to my strategy, I am focused on one platform because that's where my clients are telling me they are. Okay. The other two things I want you to consider when you think about where you're going to go and to get their attention is the type of content and the length of content. So, if you're dealing with a younger audience and you're talking about short form video and sound bites, TikTok may be a great place. YouTube Shorts could even be a great place. For the other side of my business, which is Say Black Girl, YouTube Shorts is like changing the game. It's blowing up everything, But that is because I'm using short form, short bite content. Now, if you're in a field where you need to be teaching, you need to be doing some longer form content, even something like this, where there is a live stream, then you may want to think about a Facebook or a YouTube. Now, I will say, if you are using LinkedIn, I'm live on LinkedIn right now, right? So you can actually live stream, and I've seen that content perform well as well. But you want to be thinking about, who am I talking to? What length of content is going to really help them? Stacy said, I have 3 platforms. Should I make 3 IG pages? Oh, this is a good question, Stacy. Okay, so now I would definitely need to talk with you individually, but here's my general overall answer. Whenever you have multiple parts to your brand, like I do, right? So it's almost like an umbrella. At the top of the umbrella is your personal brand, and that's where you want to start. Your personal IG page should be a highlight reel. If you go to my personal page, you can clearly see that I help women build a life and business that they love. You can see that I have my brand coaching there for business, and you can see that I have Say Black Girl there to build your faith. And it's one place that showcases both sides of who I am. Now, there is a separate Say Black Girl page where you can just go there and it's just that side of the world. I'm not talking anything about coaching on that page, right? And so I do recommend, if you have 3, make sure that they are 3 that are individually branded for those specific organizations or parts of your brand or programs if you need it. Because I would really have to sit with you and look at. So, for example, Say Black Girl is a whole community and movement. So it has a separate page. As of right now, Income Incubator does not. That lives on my page because that is me. It's not its own community. It's not its own world. It doesn't need its own page. So that's the short version, Stacy. So I would love to talk with you a little bit more just to see like what makes sense strategy wise. So you're not confusing your audience. So you're not trying to maintain too many pages, because that's the other thing. When you decide like what platforms you want to be on, you're deciding, where can I show up and where can I show up well and consistently. And if I can't be on all of these platforms in excellence and consistency, then I can't be on all these platforms. I literally had a meeting with one of my clients last night, and I had to have the difficult conversation of saying, right now, you have to come off of this platform. Because after I did her brand audit and really took a look at everything that was going on, I'm like, this platform is going to hurt you right now. We need to come off of here. We need to take this down. We need to downscale. And here's what we can do. And then here's the plan to build our way back. Right. But I want to see you on these platforms in excellent. Stacy, you need to DM me so we can get on the phone. I love it. Okay, let's keep going. You guys know this is supposed to be like a quick lunchtime chat so we can get in and get out. So number 1 was go to where they are. Y'all, please don't be random with that. Don't just pick a platform because you're on there, you think you like it, if it doesn't make sense. Like, really make sure that you are on a platform of where people are and where they're coming for what you need. So, for example, people tend to go to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine behind Google. People are coming to YouTube to learn how to do something and to be educated. So, especially if you're a coach or a consultant and people need to be educated about your services, that's a place where you want to go because they're coming to the platform to be educated. If you're on TikTok, people are typically coming to be entertained. So even if you are, a coach, I see this one therapist killing it with this. She's posting, maybe 1 minute to 2 minute videos that are educational but still entertaining in nature. Why? Because she understands the platform that she's on. So be mindful of that when you choose where. Okay. Here is number 2. Okay. Talk about what they are experiencing. So, number 1 is I'm going to go where they are. Number 2, I'm going to talk about what they are experiencing. Now, I know that in order to really do this well, you have to be supremely clear on who your audience is. And I would say 9 times out of 10, when I begin working with clients, this is what they're not clear on. Oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. And here's how you know if you are mega clear. Because when it comes to creating social media content, if you find yourself struggling with, well, what am I going to post? It is probably because you have not gotten super granularly clear on who you serve. Every time I work with a client and we take them from being a generalist to a specialist, and we really drill down deep into who they serve and what are they experiencing, it literally unlocks like a boatload of content, because now instead of talking to this weird like big crowd, I'm talking to one specific person and I know exactly what I need to say to them. So talking about this wasn't in my notes, but I do want to say that that's the precursor. You can't do step number 2 if you don't have a clear niche target audience. If you still say stuff like, well, I serve women, why help entrepreneurs, then this is going to be a struggle. Like we need to meet so we can niche that down much more specifically, right? But once you do that, now you can talk about what they are experiencing. So for example, the clients that I serve, right? They are women of faith who are coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers. Here's what I know about them. They have created a course. They have created a coaching program. They have created a consulting business or some digital product, and they've gotten some sales. This is not They're not coming to me to learn how to create the product. They have gotten it off the ground. They've sold it to family and friends, people at the church, people in the neighborhood, people spread the word. They got a couple sales in. But now they kind of realize I don't know how to keep this going. I was winging it. Now that I think about it, I don't know how to replicate these sales. And so that's who comes to me. Why is that important? Because that when it comes to talking about what they are experiencing, I'm not talking about how to create a course. You're not going to hear me talking about that because I'm not the solution. I don't want to help you create it. Right? I'm not going to talk about coming up with your book topic. You're not going to hear me talking about that because that's not what my ideal client is experiencing. And some of you are talking about things that your audience is not experiencing. My audience is trying to get to the money. Hey, like, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, sis, are you ready to make some more money? Come talk to me. If that's not what you are experiencing, my content is not going to connect with you, and good, it shouldn't. The same is true for you. You need to only be talking about all of the facets and the sides of what they are experiencing. Draw them in. Now, thank you, Holy Spirit. I get excited. I got 3 bullet points for you underneath of this. You ready? Well, how do I talk about what they're experiencing, Tiffany? I'm so glad that you asked. Here we go. Number 1, educate them regarding their challenge. I've been doing this for 17 years, and you know what I have found? You are the expert, not your audience. So even though they're having the challenge they're having, they don't fully know why. Like, You really have to educate them into why they need you. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with, met with, talked to who would say to me, I mean, yeah, my website really needs some help. So they knew they had a bad website, but it wasn't until I met with them and helped them understand this is out of place. Needs to be fixed, and this is the money it's costing you money. I had to educate them so that they understood, no, it's not just a bad website. No, this is costing you money. You're losing money because of this, and this, that made them go, oh, wait, oh, shoot, help. Can you help me fix it? Do not assume that your audience knows what the problem is to the level that you do. Okay. So educate them regarding their challenge. Number two, engage them and get their feedback. I need to put this on a shirt, but like, marketing is a two-way conversation. So there are moments in time where you want to ask questions to engage them, to get their feedback. You want to have a two-way conversation with them. It's not this one-way conversation. So engage them, ask them questions, get their feedback. All right. We're talking about how you can talk about what they're experiencing. The third thing is entertain them through relatable stories. Stories sell. Stories also help people remember. And so, how can you tell a story, right? I love to insert stories on my social media. I'll talk about stories of things I've learned. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate this. Right? But even if you're a brand new person at the very beginning, maybe the story is, how did you overcome the experience that you're helping them through? A lot of you are coaches, or you've written a book to help people overcome something you overcame. And if you're just getting started and you don't have a whole lot of client stories, tell your story until you have other stories. I tend to focus on my client stories. I love to talk about the clients. I had one client who literally came to me, which is funny because she sent me a video testimonial. We're going to be doing an ad of that this month. You'll see it. But literally, she came to me. She was a speaker, powerful speaker, had a program, kept doing these webinars and live speaking events, and couldn't sell from the stage. Literally, we had a VIP day session and she had made $15,000 in the next week. What? Like, so those are the stories I tend to tell now, because I don't really care about my story. Like, even though I started off this broadcast telling you like that I made almost $10,000 in the past week, I don't tend to talk about me. I tend to love to talk about my client stories and tell you all of the wins that they are having. But those stories help to reinforce that when I talk about me making 10,000 in almost the past week, and the clients I'm helping make 15,000 in a day, if you're stuck in sales, those stories make you go, you know what? I think I might need some help. And the same effect is true when you begin to share your stories with your audience. Okay. Let's keep going. My 2 o'clock reminder just popped up that I got a call. So let's keep on pressing this thing forward. Okay. And so the first two things we talked about, number one was going to where they are. Pick a platform with intentionality. I believe it was the powerful Pastor Travis Green who told us that God is intentional. He is intentional. And so, guess what? If we are made in the image of God, let's be intentional like our Father. Don't just be on Facebook because you think you should be there, or Instagram, or wherever. I'm going to ask you, if we work together, about where are you and why are you there? And let's make sure you're on the right platform. So that was number one. Go to where they are. Number two was talk about what they are experiencing. What's their pain? What's their frustration? What are they struggling with? How can you engage them in powerful conversation around that? And number three is show them how to solve their problem. Show them how to solve their problem. Okay. And so, all throughout this broadcast, I've given you very quick things, quick wins of how you can solve your problem. What you want to be focused on is, how can I offer a quick win? So here we go. Let's say that you are someone who coaches aspiring authors. There's so many parts to that. But one of the quick wins that you can offer them is how to choose your book title. There you go. Quick win, something quick that you can walk me through. Or here's another one. Um, which book subject should you write about? So I want you to think about when it comes to how you engage with your audience. Let me move this reminder. How you engage with your audience and the things they need to know. How can you pull off one small quick win that will boost their sense of achievement and also really make you the expert in their life? I just realized I didn't update the lower third on here. So let's go ahead and update that. How to solve their problem. If you're on Instagram and you want to get these lower thirds, you can come on over to Facebook or where else am I live? Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. There you go. You got three choices. So there we go. Just updated that lower third. But we're talking about show them how to solve their problem. Now, this is a question I get a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. And it's a good question. Tiffany, how do I make sure I don't give away too much for free? Like, if I give them everything, are they gonna want to buy my thing? And so it's a good question, and I want to answer it. You can never give away too much for free. Well, I don't want to phrase it like that, but you can never over deliver when it comes to your free content, right? Because the more you serve, the more you pour, the more that you're giving to them, you are positioning yourself as the expert in their minds. And thank you, Holy Spirit. Here's another thing that I know as a coach. There's a difference between the breakthrough and the transformation. There's something that I've said today that made you go, oh, and a light bulb came on. But guess what? You're going to have to hear it again and again and again. And you're going to need accountability and implementation steps to fully see the result. So there's something that you'll say in your free content that might be connected to your course. And people are going to go like, wow, that was a big light bulb moment. But they still need your course to have the rest of the full transformation. And inside of your course, there's going to be worksheets and calculators and all of these things that help them move it forward. Everything I'm talking about right now in this free live stream, I literally have worksheets and templates and all of these things that if someone was like, okay, I need to actually implement that, they could go inside of that income incubator vault and download one of those sheets. So I'm not worried about telling too much for free because I know that there's still so much more that you would gain inside of coaching with me that I'm like, sure, I'll show up and answer questions and talk for free because I'm truly an expert, right? And so there's always more, but I understand the power of implementation. So you've probably even heard it said that this way that you tell people what to do for free, but they have to pay to teach them how to do it. So even in this broadcast, right? I've told you to go to where they are. I've told you talk about what they are experiencing, and I've told you how to show them how to solve the problem. But guess what? If you and I were to work together one-on-one, I would be able to personalize this information for you and say, okay, here's what this looks like for you. Let's do the research. Let's figure out which platform works for you. Here's what the data. Somebody write that down, right? The data shows you should be on this platform. Then we'd go through number 2 and we talk about messaging and we pull out some more data and do some more research and say, okay, yep, here's what you need to be saying. Here's the messaging that we craft together. And then the last thing, we would talk about how you can create a quick win. All of that we would do together in a coaching scenario. So the same is true for you. Whatever you're sharing for free, it's not going to diminish. And as long as you are mindful of how you are delivering it. There is always, for my content, there's a free version, and then there's a version that's not free. And I'm mindful of that. So I'm not worried about showing up every Wednesday and talking and teaching to you guys because I know that there's so much more inside the actual vault, which is a good shameless plug because it's March 1st and The income incubator vault is a fit. The vault, let me not confuse you because the vault is just a resource, but the income incubator is officially open. And the income incubator is a coaching intensive that I created for women in business because I was tired of seeing the sisters out here on the struggle bus. Okay, listen, we're not going to be able to hope and wish and post and hope in 2023. I need you to have a marketing engine that brings you new customers and clients every day. And it's not only working for my clients, it's working for me. I started this broadcast by telling you, sis has banked almost 10K in the past week. What you doing? How are your sales looking? Right? And so if you know, I got this program, I got this thing, I don't know how to sell it consistently, then girl, what we talking about? Okay. Now, let me see. I can't put it up on IG, but if you're on IG and you're like, okay, Tiffany, you in my business, because yes, it looks great on social media, but my bank account is talking to me. Send me a personal message so that I can send you the link to get on my calendar. And those of you who are here, you can see that is tiffanybathia.com. You can go there if you're in the car, if you're busy and you can't quite do that. You can also send me a private message. Of course, those of you who are on YouTube, you cannot, but go to tiffanybathia.com, hop on my calendar. Let's talk about, because it's not going to happen through osmosis. Or let me help the deep people. If you've been praying and saying, God, I need a change in this business, what is it? This is it. You need strategy. You need someone to show you step by step exactly what to do. This is what you've been praying for. We don't have to keep praying. Here we go. He sent the boat. You're in the water, like, oh, I need somebody to rescue me. Here's the boat. Get on the boat. And let's begin to turn this thing around. So I've gone 8 minutes over my time, but I hope that this broadcast has been helpful. If so, I'd love for you to drop a note. Let me know what's been helpful, what has been beneficial for you. And again, to all of the fabulous ladies, I want to say Happy Women's History Month.